In the world of electric cars, there's only one name that is truly synonymous with the subject, and that's Elon Musk's Tesla, whose stock prices have made early investors quite happy. However, here's something you might not know. Tesla is about to be short-circuited. They're being chased by a new competitor who is showing no signs of slowing down. We're talking about none other than German supercar manufacturer, Volkswagen. Volkswagen isn't satisfied playing Pepsi to Tesla's Coca-Cola, and it wants to be the leader in electric vehicles around the world. Here are Volkswagen plans to take Tesla down. By the way, make sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our engaging videos, and use that trigger finger by smashing that like button. Now, let's get into it. Volkswagen updated its electric vehicle ambitions over the past couple of months. The automaking giant has always had big EV goals, and it is doubling down on an all-electric personal transportation future. The shares of Volkswagen are surging as they talk up their plans for electric vehicles. This year alone, VW has risen more than 50% on the stock market, adding more than $53.5 billion to its market value, making it the highest it's been in 6 years. Tesla's stock, on the other hand, has declined about 10% in 2021. Despite the fact that they are still light years from reaching Tesla's market value, their gains suggest growing faith from investors that companies from Detroit to Deutschland can reinvent themselves. Volkswagen has already started turning the cogs in an effort to transition to fully electric vehicles. New battery-powered models such as the Audi e-tron, VW ID Buzz, and Porsche Taycan will all be released. VW has already become Europe's top seller of electric cars. If VW sticks to this vision of going electric, they may easily catch up to Tesla in terms of car sales within a couple of years. Volkswagen's long-term goal of selling half of its new cars as electric cars by 2030 only reinforces this vision. Their investment in QuantumScape Core, an early-stage battery company, demonstrates their commitment to their mission. Quantum is developing solid-state lithium anode batteries that promise lower costs, better safety, longer ranges, and faster charging times than today's lithium-ion battery technology. They've already seen a €1.4 billion gain on their investment. Volkswagen's hopes were once again smashed when UBS analysts found that it lagged far behind Tesla on software and battery prowess, which are both key aspects of an EV. This made it more likely that even though the German carmaker has beaten Tesla in terms of cars sold, the US company would still remain the most profitable EV player. It can be argued that if Tesla is the Apple of the new mobility world, then leading legacy OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, such as Volkswagen, could be like Samsung. This analogy was represented when VW's ID.3 got released. It got off to a rocky start, plagued with software glitches and production delays, leading many to doubt the German company's ability to compete with Tesla. Experts believe VW rushed the launch of this model in order to meet the EU's CO2 emissions targets. Of course, VW wants to scratch out this analogy. Since then, the company has addressed its software issues and plans to deliver Tesla-like software updates every 3 months starting this summer. Volkswagen estimates that it will have a fully networked fleet of over 500,000 vehicles on the road after 2 years. It plans to invest over $19 billion in areas such as mobility and digitization over the next 5 years as it seeks to raise its software capabilities and generate additional revenue from charge-on-demand services and other software-based functions during the lifetime of its vehicles. In addition, VW hopes to become a leader in creating self-driving cars with their technology. Investing over $30 million in this venture was costly. But if VW becomes synonymous with software that drives your car, then we can say that they're much closer to beating Mr. Musk's company in this race. Volkswagen has announced plans to build 6 gigafactories by 2030. Tesla is actually the one credited with popularizing the term gigafactory as an industry jargon for a battery plant. Each factory will be able to provide 40 gigawatt-hours of production per year, totaling to 240 gigawatt-hours per year. A giga is short for a billion, but what investors need to know is that a manufacturing facility with that capacity can power on average 4 to 5 million electric vehicles a year. VW is also investing in a large-scale expansion of the fast charging networks in Europe, North America, and China. With its partners, the company anticipates operating about 18,000 fast-charging points in Europe by 2025, up from just about 3,600 today. Volkswagen notes that will be enough to cater to about one-third of the total expected demand in Europe by 2025. Besides that, VW will also set up 3,500 charging stations in the US and 17,000 in China. VW also works with its partners to improve battery performance and cost, all the way down to the cell level. In 2023, it plans to launch a new battery cell, which it calls the Unified Cell, to be used in up to 80% of its EVs by 2030. The remainder will use a premium battery cell in the near future, and most likely solid-state batteries later in the decade. Over time, as economies of scale and recycling efforts take hold, VW expects its battery costs to drop significantly below €100 or $119 per kilowatt-hour in 50% of entry-level segments and 30% of high-volume mid-market segments. That's low enough for VW's electric cars to be profitable, and even lower than many of its potential competitors are likely to achieve soon. Volkswagen knows it's got to reach its potential customers somehow. It already focuses the majority of its marketing efforts on the EV market. This includes a $2 billion marketing campaign to promote zero-emission vehicles, even on the local level and within the most difficult areas to reach. Volkswagen will match funds allocated to dealership commercials and ad campaigns, providing up to 75% of the resources. However, the company's 2015 diesel emissions scandal continues to keep hundreds of lawyers busy and troubled at Volkswagen's reputation. Martin Winterkorn, who was chief executive during the period when Volkswagen cheated on emissions rules by rigging diesel vehicles, is to go on trial next month for charges related to the scandal. The trial is likely to generate heavy media coverage and remind the public of Volkswagen's misdeeds, which emerged in 2015. Since it continues to linger in the heads of many environmentalist auto buyers, we will have to see whether America and the rest of the world would buy Volkswagen's reformed attitude toward greener cars. Herbert Diess, chief executive of Volkswagen Group, launched his Twitter account in January with a lighthearted jibe at Elon Musk, writing that he was looking to take market share from Tesla after conquering the first markets in Europe. Diess seemed only to be making fun of Musk after being friends for years. The two have publicly praised one another in the face of their professional rivalry. The tweet, however, succinctly spelled out VW's aim to overthrow Tesla as the world's leading electric car maker and to remain a dominant force in a rapidly changing sector. Volkswagen already overtook Tesla as the largest provider of electric cars in Europe, with 1 out of every 4 cars sold in a year that saw EV sales soar, propped up by generous state subsidies and strict CO2 emission targets that forced car makers to double down on EVs despite bleeding money selling them. Ferdinand Dudenhofer, founder and director of Center Automotive Research in Duisburg, told DW that there's a 100% chance that VW will surpass Tesla next year, or it could possibly even be this year. The German automaker has aggressive EV plans. The ID.3 hatchback, which has only reached showrooms in Europe since last year, will be followed by the ID.4 SUV and the ID.5 crossover this year. The 7-seater ID.6X is also planned to go on sale in China later this year. The Volkswagen Group, including Porsche, Audi, and Skoda brands, plans to launch around 70 all-electric cars by 2030. What are your thoughts about Volkswagen's plans for the future? Let us know in the comments section below, and hey, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we continue giving you the best content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.